This is Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search for my site. I have at least two audiences I will have in my mind as I speak in this Postmates advanced training. Listeners, if you are considering Postmates, please remember you can put my name down as a person who referred you, and if you're successful, I will earn a bonus. My cousin Meg has agreed to let me mention her name, and she has agreed to hear 5 reasons. And Meg, I am on track I gave myself 2 weeks, but I think I'm going to call you on Sunday, not a week from Sunday, because I think I'm going to get the 5th one in tomorrow. So I've been giving my cousin Meg 5 reasons to do Postmates. And again, I'm soliciting Meg to, the way I see it is there's full-time people who are really paying their bills with this job. And then there's part-time people who are just ebbing and flowing and doing more, depending on what their monthly finances might be or their available time or whatever. And then there's the novelty Postmate. And I predict I predict you will be 0, and I will not get you to your first delivery, which I can accept. Or you will be 1, 2, you will be in the novelty range. You won't actually make this a part-time job. So that's the 3 different categories I see. So Meg, I did 5, reason 4, reason 3, and tonight is reason 2. I started this whole thing knowing what reason 1 is. That will be disclosed mañana or soon. Reason 4 is this, Meg. I don't know a lot about the work you do, but I know it's in mortgages, and I do know mortgages. In other words, I know mortgages, I know the work you do. But I don't know what your specific part of it is. Are you talking to clients, this sort of thing? So I'm first going to reference more complicated work that I've done and try to reference what I know about your work. So I'll start with before my career as a professional food scientist crashed, I worked in manufacturing. So we were making food like yogurt and cereal and a juice beverage in a plastic bottle called Squeeze It. I did that for the longest period of time. I made MSG with a Japanese company and a corporate level job doing baby food. We're making food for babies. Sounds easy. Sounds simple. It's not simple. You got high volume manufacturing equipment. You got huge quantities of stuff, like bins and bins and bins and bins of sweet potatoes, or silos of milk that are 4 stories high. These are not simple systems. Advanced to my post-food science crash, I moved into marketing and specifically marketing debt. I'm also doing this thing today. I was involved in a money transfer to India for work that they're doing in medical billing. So again, it's not complicated. We've got people in India who are helping doctors in the United States collect the money that is owed to them by the people who are their patients. Gosh, you're talking about paperwork all over the place and faxes and collection calls and all this stuff in a very complicated system. My debt work is you got people who get credit and then they overspend, and then their finances are a mess, and then they get some help with some negotiation with the bank, and it takes a really long time, and it's excruciatingly emotional and difficult. And Meg, some components of that I would think would be the closest relative to what you're doing. So in mortgages, of course, hey, you're helping people get houses. Sounds like a basic need, but it's never simple. Credit report. Do you qualify? What's it going to take to get you qualified? Did you find the house? Again, you're in a basic need providing housing, but it's not basic. You know, back in the day, like in primitive societies that exist today in Africa, one group of people that live on a desert on the Atlantic coast, and I can't say the country, they build these houses that are partly sand. You know, there's probably a couple of people in the tribe that know how to do this. Again, they're providing housing, Meg, just like you, but when they start and they finish, they feel like they provided housing. You, on the other hand, feel like maybe you're not, like I feel with debt. So anyways, reason number 4, it's really simple. You bring people food. Someone else cooks it. You don't even have to do what a waiter or waitress, a food server does to say, what do you want? Because they decide themselves, they put it in the app. You just go pick it up, a restaurant you've never been to before, take bag of food, bring to hungry person. By the way, at a very high percentage of the time, that hungry person is tracking you and your progress to bringing them their food. So, Meg, reason number 4, in all the complications of your life, it's complicated to learn how to use the app and that sort of thing, but you're fulfilling a very basic need. You know, there's food, clothing, water, shelter, sanitation. These are some basic needs. Well, food is one of them, and it feels great, Meg. This is like a Mother Teresa kind of thing. Providing for people's basic needs. And the smile, the thank you, the you're late and then they text you. Meg, a short story. I started using these city bikes, so now all of a sudden I'm on a share bike, and instead of going directly to my destination, sometimes I had to go past my destination to get my bike in a rack. Not my bike, the share bike. In Iraq, and when I first started doing it, it hasn't happened many times since, and I don't know why, but when I first started doing it, I would pass my destination, and the phone would ring, and it's a customer who thought I was lost. Where are you going? I'll go to the Lexington door, you know. So this guy is an Indian guy, brought Indian food. He was the first one to do it. Indian guy, I brought him Indian food from. He was way up in the Upper West Side. There's not as many Indian restaurants there as they are in this part of Manhattan, this little India. So this guy was obviously hungry. He had a taste for Indian food. This is understandable. And all of a sudden, oh my God, I go past. So he's like going down, I'm at Lexington. So anyways, Meg, reason number 4, it's fun. Why? Because you bring people food and they say thank you. And Meg, the rest of it is this other gig that I'm doing, my shift to the other audience. So if you want to sign out, now would be the appropriate time. Ciao, cuz. Today was my mother's birthday. I won't say how many years, but you can probably calculate it. And I sang her happy birthday today. My brother bought her flowers. And anyways, it was fun. Ellen was, of course, celebrating her birthday in some way by... Ellen's helping me fix a problem with a credit card, my mother said when she was on the phone. Ciao, Meg. To my second audience, I'm going to read, I had 0 deliveries today, but it wasn't without trouble. I lost my pack card yesterday, and today I had to go to Brooklyn to get a new one. And listeners, here is the lesson I learned today. I am trying to get this pack card. I scoured the digital presentations of Postmates, both local, Jersey City, and national. Can't find a phone number. So what's the best way to talk to someone at Postmates? Take an order. So I went to Green. I went online. I'm sitting having coffee at a place called Juan Valdez, 57th in Lexington in Manhattan. And by the way, for the first time I had sweet plantain quiche. Awesome. And so I'm enjoying this quiche, and my phone goes off. Now I got an active order. Bing! I push the help button. Now I'm talking to someone. Well, she doesn't have a phone number for me. She's not very helpful. I'm going to do my own research. So now like 40 minutes passes, and I come to discover, oh my God, it's 3. They close at 5. There's no hours through the weekend. My wife is working. So now I'm panicked. And now I've taken this order for Jersey Mike's. I mouthed off to the owner last time I was in Jersey Mike's, so I didn't really want to go back to Jersey Mike's, or the manager, because he wouldn't give me a bag with handles. And I really didn't want to go back to Jersey Mike's, and now I have a good excuse because now I'm panicked. I got to get this card. So listeners, please understand what I'm saying here. The national people were not cooperative. I could find a phone number no place. The emails that I had written 24 hours ago had not been replied to, and now 2 hours remaining before end of business of the week. I'm going to head into the weekend with no PEC card. I'm saying it wrong. I think it's about PIC card. Listeners, if you're already doing Postmates, you know what PEC's card. PEC's card. So I push the help button again. Now I have a different woman. You never get the same person twice. Not that I know of. It seems like a mathematical impossibility to me, and it has not happened to me. So now I got a different person, and she scolds me. Why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you call us 40 minutes ago? I explained. I did. I explained the drama that I just explained now. So listeners, please understand. These people in help, a number of times, it is their job to get these people like me to do the work that they said they would do. And so I had to face some pressure to go do Jersey Mike's when I had decided I'm not going to. So I had reason to feel bad about this, and I did, briefly. I knew I had to get this card or I wouldn't be doing any deliveries this weekend. And it's unusual for me. Hannah's working. My wife is working 2 days. So that was one lesson from today. And the other thing I'm going to do is share my screen. I told a story yesterday about this ego clash with a man named Sean at the Trump Soho Hotel, and I told the story last night. It was fresh, and then after I did it, I wrote essentially a complaint to the Trump Soho Hotel, and I posted that on my blog, and I sent the Trump Soho Hotel a link in a couple of different ways. So I'm going to read that now. Lost credit card. Here's the text that had gone unresponded to. Trump Soho Hotel. Dear kind person at Trump Soho Hotel, I was confronted by Sean from your front desk and 2 people who appeared to be from your security staff. Hey, tough guy. The confrontation outside your hotel included claims that I would be subject of a complaint. So this text to you includes my claim. The misbehavior rests with Sean and not me. I had explicit instructions from your guest to leave the medicinal product for him at the front desk. When Sean pressed to have me bring the Duane Reade product through the service entrance, I left it on the desk and exited your hotel. I am well aware I can be accused of a petty power play, but no valid claim could be made that my power play was ineffective. As I left your hotel, before being confronted with, hey, tough guy, I talked to the customer, your guest, and said the product was with Sean. My job was done, and the confrontation outside was Sean's unnecessary malbehavior. Logic would say your guest is a visitor to New York City, and your guest is ill. Sean was standing in the way of your guest's health. And I want to be sure that my side of this petty power trip is documented for my readers and for you. Best to you from the Trump Soho Hotel, New Jersey, near the Lincoln Tunnel. Sincerely, Tom Duty. Now, the other thing I'm going to do in this, the other thing I'm going to do before I close, again, I had 0 deliveries today. However, that PEC's card trauma was something I wanted to talk about, and the including the trouble with the fleet support person, the second fleet support person. And then I also took a call while I was doing this Indian banking thing that I had to do today. I got a call from a number I had not received a call from before in Arizona, and it's a man named Steve who is Postmates listening to my videos. He's found them on the internet. He has no link to me in any way other than he's Postmates, I'm Postmates, he found my video. So this is absolutely cool. These are the kinds of conversations that I love to have. We use the internet to supplement traditional information. I get frustrated, as a lot of people do, that digital social activity replaces traditional social interaction. And if that's the case, then something is missing. Putting a finger on exactly what's missing is troubling. It's hard to articulate it, but something is missing. But when digital social gets to supplement traditional social, it's just awesome. This conversation with Steve today was great. So I will share this one story with him. There were many, many things in the conversation that were just great. So the one story that he shared that I also have a version of in my Postmates beginner training is this. Steve is telling of his, good, I have my phone here. Steve's signed up orientation. He's a cool guy. He's smart enough to know that this app thing is great and Uber is a good solution. His car is too old. He doesn't qualify for Uber. He obviously doesn't want to get a new car. He doesn't really want to have people in his car anyways. He's got to keep his car clean. You know, a lot of the same reasons a lot of people have to not do Uber. But yet, moving food to people seemed a little more attractive to him. So he signs up, he does orientation, ding, ding, ding. He takes his first order, and it's McDonald's. So now he's looking at the order while he's in the McDonald's drive-thru, and he's looking at the price of the Big Mac on the app and the price of the Big Mac on the menu. The menu's more expensive. Oh, shit. He's going to be short on money. He's panicked. He doesn't know what to do. Listeners, I tell a version of this in my trauma-related trauma was with Juice Press and an item that they added or had to delete or something. And I sat down real time and I told my story. After I left Juice Press, it was fixed by Fleet Support. They explained what Steve learned in this McDonald's event, what I explained in beginner training. So I sat down and I did my video on my way to the customer. So I told the story Steve told when mine was fresh. So anyways, here's what Steve learned, is that when you go up to the window, it's no big deal. You turn over your PEX card and it all goes onto the PEX card. The menu is kind of like for reference only. It is not what the people pay. The people pay, the customers pay what the Postmates types into their phone in the process of completing a delivery assignment. So anyway, Steve, now that I've done it, I did my video explaining the trauma. To hear Steve tell his story of McDonald's, again, the same little novice thing that causes this panic. Within 24 hours, the panic's gone and you never revisit it again. But I knew when it happened to me that I wasn't the only one. And now I heard a firsthand account of someone else who had similar trauma. So anyway, Steve, if you're listening to this one, thank you for the call today. It was refreshing. It was just a true pleasure. It added to the social depth of what I'm doing in Postmates, and perhaps it did some of the same things for you. So once again, thank you. This has been Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search from my site. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, good evening, or restful night's sleep. Ciao.